we were touring with Tones and I last in the spring, and one
Dude,
thing.
What a voice on her.
Yeah,
oh
unbelievable voice.
She cool to hang with too.
So great.
Yeah.
And honestly, just like getting into my bobby.
You're in the middle of a tour right now. Playing with Macklemore. How many shows in are you?
I think we're up to like show 90 on the year.
Would you like touring with Kesha?
Yeah, she's super sweet, super funny. She almost gave me a stick and poke tattoo, and thankfully I didn't do it.
Yo, let's go. 'Cause it brings us all together for the night. We all remember the kind of times we want to last forever. An unforgettable experience. Moments spent with all our friends, gathering around the dinner table.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Lobster and Beer TV, coming to you live from Demon Records in Old Town Scottsdale.
Stopping by before his show in Arizona with Macklemore. We got trombone player and musician Darius Christian. Don't forget to check out that new merch, lobsterandbeer.com, link in the description.
Portion of the proceeds goes to the American Foundation for Suicide
And
Prevention.
also to get Brian a snack pack, because this guy won't leave me alone about him today, and it's very annoying.
I don't think I've ever even had a snack
Well,
pack.
you're gonna have one today.
Yo, shout out Get Main Lobster for giving us the fresh lobster rolls. And yo, it's time, Big Al. Let's eat, baby. Your boy, Darius. Back in action.
We're here.
It's good to have you, man.
So good to be here.
I know. Is this the first time I guess we've hung out since I moved to Scottsdale, huh?
Yeah.
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 Last time was Nashville.
That was what, in 2018?
Was it back that 5 years ago, huh?
Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah. You were on the road for a show then, right?
Yeah. The Gemini tour.
Did you guys play
We were still
Bridgestone
out.
that night?
We did. It was like the Kesha Macklemore shows.
Yes, that's. Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we came. I forgot.
Yeah.
We were in the box. Yeah. Damn, it's so long ago, man.
Yeah, did the label hook it up for you guys?
Yeah, they had Starstruck had their own box.
Ugh.
Yeah, it was super
That's
nice,
nice.
man. That show was killer. Did you like touring with Kesha?
Yeah, she's super
Yeah.
sweet, super funny. She almost gave me a stick and poke tattoo, and thankfully I didn't do it. Yeah, it was good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, dude, let's dive into the lobster roll.
Yeah, I'm so ready.
What's your secret ingredient?
Old Bay, baby.
Old Bay, baby.
Oh, babe.
I'm hyped to try this, man.
Baltimore.
Yes, sir. Dig in.
It's fire.
So good.
I did put a lot of Old Bay too.
How do you get these? Fresh. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Mark.
Mark from Maine, baby.
Yeah.
Anywhere in the country, he'll give it to you fresh next day.
How? It just doesn't make sense.
It's insane, man. He built this whole business off of telling his story, being in Maine, going the dock, meeting the lobstermen when they come in from the morning's, fish, or picking up the traps and taking the lobster out. He picks out the ones he wants, gets the claw and knuckle meat out for the lobster rolls. He also does like actual live lobsters, but yeah, he gets the claw and knuckle meat, airtight packaging, overnight. You can order like today and get it tomorrow. Yeah, super fresh, man.
Unbelievable.
Mhm.
It's so good.
That's next That's like next generation stuff right there.
Oh yeah.
Of food.
Yeah.
He can do his if you like salmon too and things like that. People were saying they were just at a show last week.
Yeah, we're in outside of Georgia. We're at this. It's called Big Green Egg. It was this big like food festival for this type of grill called a green egg, and he supplied the salmon, like 200 pounds of salmon for the festival. And these chefs from Seattle were using his salmon, and they said it tasted better than the salmon they got fresh in Seattle, which is like they're known for that up there, up north.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's got the hook. I don't know what it is, man. He's a great dude, man. I love him too because obviously he's a successful entrepreneur, but he considered himself more of like a creative and storyteller, and that's how the company like blew up. It was just telling the story of getting the lobster and sending it to people. Yeah,
From
pretty
dock
dope.
to doorstep. That's what he says.
Yeah,
So insane.
Pretty
I
dope.
love that so much.
tastes so good, man. Dude, so it's good to have you here, man. You're in the middle of a tour right now, playing with Macklemore. How's it been, bro? How many shows in are you?
I think we're up to like show 90 on the year. Let me see.
90. Whew.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it might be up to 90. We've been out all year.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's been mental.
When did you start?
Technically, we started. Oh no, we're up to show 93.
Damn.
So technically, we started in April.
Okay.
We did all of Europe, and before that, we did some TV show prep stuff, and yeah, all of Europe. Then we did summer festivals in Europe.
Dude, those festivals you guys are playing are huge.
They were big. They were crazy.
I saw some of the pictures you guys
Like
posted.
50,000 people.
That's crazy.
What's that feel like, man?
Nuts. Those are the, in some ways, like the best shows because they're just, the energy is like peak, and like, you know, Ben worked super hard to get to that point in his career where we're like headlining these shows. So like the energy is like super high.
What was your favorite stop in Europe that if you had to pick one?
Belgium,
Belgium?
Yeah.
Why?
really good show. Just a really
Good
good
show.
one of those shows. You could like people were in the air the whole time. It was-
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
man.
played after the Killers. It was
Wow,
like-
you guys played after the Killers.
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't know Macklemore was that big in
Europe. He's massive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long have you been playing with him? Uh-oh.
5 years.
5 years?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool, man.
Yeah,
So,
it'll be
2018
6.
then, probably right around you guys. Yeah, right? 2018 then that was your first tour with him?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. You play with a lot, dude. This is so good. I can't even
really
run.
good.
I can't even
I
run
inhaled
an
that.
interview right now because I can't. I came into this starving, by the way.
Yeah, same.
So,
I mean, we were just in this working on a song for like past 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
Haven't eaten.
Kind of blacked out in the middle of that thing, making the song.
In a good way.
Yeah.
You went in on the production.
did.
Man. I'm pretty hyped on that. Yeah, that was super fun. Because the last time when you came to the studio in Nashville, we brought like a whole squad in there. I brought my whole
So many
band,
people.
and then a bunch of that guy DQ, who was coming up with like a lot of the hook stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That was so much fun, man. I had never done that before, where we had like, full big production studio. Full. It's so good, right? You can't.
You got another one with your name on it too.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But yeah, dude, we brought, that was the first time ever I've had a writing session with it was like 13 or 14 of us in there. Full band, couple writers,
Yeah.
couple engineers. That was dope.
I think I left to play the show, like while the session started.
Yeah. No, that's right. You didn't come back that night.
I don't know if I came back.
No, so yeah, you were there before, like you came like after sound check or something like that, or before sound check. We like wrote the meat and potatoes of the song. Then you bounced, and then that's when we brought the whole band in and put everything on it. And then I sent it to you, and you're like, "Wait, when did this happen, bro?"
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome, man. That was a good time.
But fun.
Yes, sir.
Will that song ever see the light of day? We'll see.
We'll see. I think it still has
Who knows?
it. I don't know. That horn line you came up, da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na. That's just so fire, man.
I don't even remember it. So,
Yeah, you were in the straight zone.
yeah.
Do you normally get like that when you're making music?
It depends. I feel like even this thing we worked on today came from just being in the elevator and hearing an idea, and then recording a voice memo and then fleshing it out, which I really love to do with other people, like 1-on-1 or 3 people is super nice. But ideally, it's that flow state that like, you're not like working super hard to get the idea. The idea is there, but like trying all the options, seeing what feels the best, and it is the best when you just kind of black out and it's like, oh, it's been a couple hours.
That's when you know you're on something, because you get lost in it, which is nice.
I mean, I can imagine that. What's like one of the most unique sounds? Like you said, you've got this from an elevator. Is there any like thing that sticks out to you, like a unique sound or something that came
Oh,
so
no,
random?
He wasn't talking about the elevator noise. Like he was in the elevator
And
the
it popped in his head. Got it. I was like, I didn't thought maybe it was like, elevator music or something, or the ding.
Honestly, there have been times where I've the phone is so powerful that you can just use the voice memo, and like I've recorded like horses like clopping around in like Warsaw, Poland, and then also like I was walking by the street and I heard like a chamber orchestra rehearsing, and I sampled that. Like you can always, I sampled this dude playing didgeridoo in like San Diego once.
Oh, that's sick.
That's dope.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, so wild.
Yeah, especially were you like chasing down the horse in Warsaw? Like follow it. Like
Yeah, I was just standing. Like it's cool to like have your own samples laid into your music, also just legally. And I don't do a lot of that. I don't do as much of that as I could, though. Like another texture of just having, another thing. Like you feel it. You start to feel like The Watchmen, for example. Like I love that series because there's so many layers of time, and I feel like having samples gives you that other fourth dimension, or like.
It's also crazy how how some things are so minuscule and how you can adjust some things, and like it's like you would never think that was there. I was listening to what's his face from Aerosmith,
Steven Tyler.
Yeah, Steven Tyler.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how they were recording a song and they needed maracas and they didn't have maracas, and so he used a sugar packet. Instead of rock, and
we just did that
Yeah, we
when
did
we were
that
up
in
in
Bisbee.
Bisbee. We needed a shaker, and so there was like a iodized salt canister or whatever.
Yeah.
And
It
took
sounded perfect. He literally had a single sugar packet.
That's
though.
crazy.
That's
Yeah,
a
that's
single
crazy.
sugar packet.
That's not a lot to work with. That's why.
No, it's not. It sounds perfect.
Yeah, it is cool. It's crazy to think about how times have changed. Like that, the fact that we have this recording device, this iPhone that we can record any sound anywhere, or voice memo ourselves. If we have an idea, just pop into our head randomly. If we're at the gym or on a walk, driving the car, you throw it on, record that idea right away. You think about like back in the day, like the Beatles. They didn't have any way
Right.
to record their ideas. They had
like you couldn't walk around with like they probably took a while for them to have like tape recorders, and they're like they weren't like handheld.
Yeah, I wonder if that played into like some of the. I guess I was gonna say the simplicity of their songs, but then you get into like Norwegian Wood, and it's definitely not simple at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's crazy to think like those guys did it with just such little resources back then. Now we have we could produce a whole song on our iPhone. Very lucky in that sense. Going back, talking about back in the day, dude. Like I want to hear like how you first got into music. Like were you producing right off the bat, or I know you play trombone with Macklemore and a bunch of other people. Did you start playing trombone? Like where did your parents play music? Where did it all start?
Yeah, I feel like I'm a weirdo in the sense of like my dad's a preacher, so I came up in the church. We had a choir in the church. I sang in the choir, but I wasn't like vocally proficient. Like I struggled singing for a while.
How old are you?
A while.
When
What's
you started,
that?
How old were you when you started in the choir?
I don't know. Young, like 6, 7, 8. And I wasn't a full-time member. I was just like around the choir. And then some days I would sing. But honestly, I would record his sermons. So he would be preaching and I'd be behind like recording his sermon to tape.
Yeah.
And then after church, we would go to the radio station down the street. And he would air his sermons in like the local radio station. So there's a picture of me at age like 8 or 9 where I'm in the studio like with like the radio host. And so I kind of connected the dots. I've like, not that I'm like an engineer at age 6, but I was like recording my dad's sermons, screwing them up a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And then like it would just go straight to the radio, which is so weird. Even though it was like a small little regional radio station, but it was like, so I was always twisting knobs at a young age without realizing it, like learning what like it meant to like, have the microphone like distorting and peaking, and he'd be like, "Oh, come on, man, you gotta pay attention." Like,
Yeah, but you're starting to learn that stuff at such a young age. Yeah,
And he had so much crap around because he was like a big like Radio Shack nerd, and he still is. My dad has so much like weird microphones that have on and off buttons that have like XLR out, or not XLR, but like guitar output out, but they've got like the wiry cables, so they're like elastic,
Yeah.
and they don't really work well. And, but I would just screw around for like a long time, and then I got my first ever job was in coffee, and randomly the guy like Jay Carragay in Towson, Maryland, had me like opening and closing the shop at age 15.
Oh wow.
So I was like running this, like it was a shave ice shop and a coffee shop that did like specialty coffee.
Yeah.
So it was like really high end, super like crazy Hawaiian Kona coffee. And
Yeah,
he would
yeah.
train me to like make like
That's
latte
cool.
art and all this stuff. Like he would come in and be like, "Okay, pour me shots." I'd be like, all right. He'd be like, "This is terrible."
He was your sensei of coffee.
Spit it out. Like, this is awful.
But he trusted you enough to
He would trust me to like
start running the shop.
run the shop. And so
Yeah.
I was like, for whatever reason, I was like, I'm going to save my money. I'm going to get a Mac. I really wanted a Mac.
Yeah. And because you wanted to produce music, or
I
you
don't
just,
even know. I think I was also making skateboarding videos as a kid. Like I was really big into skateboarding.
Oh, dope.
And some of my friends became super serious. And I was like, y'all are crazy. I'm not doing that shit. But I'll film it.
Yeah.
So I would ride around and film them with like the fisheye lens and like be behind them with
Ah,
the
that's
light
cool.
and like the handheld thing. I would make my own like handle. Like I would bend the metal and like drill it and like
Damn.
put like an old scooter, like you know, like a razor scooter thing. I
Oh,
put the
yeah.
scooter handle on the metal and
That's hilarious.
film it on these mini DV tapes. And then when it came time to edit, I was like, I need music. So then I would just LimeWire a bunch of songs,
Wow, that's a
and make,
throwback
like,
in itself.
LimeWire.
use like Final Cut Express or Final Cut Pro or whatever it was, Adobe Premiere actually. And then I was like, oh man, what's GarageBand? And then opened up that and figured out how to get a mic into it, and I was like, this is crazy.
That's yeah, especially as a kid when you figure that out that you can create
Yeah,
sound,
yeah.
you get so hyped up. When did you start playing the horn?
I think I was like 10, 11, 12, something like that. Middle school band. There were a lot of trumpet players, so I got left with the trombone, and I just kept playing it. But then I wanted to sing in a rock band in high school, so then I sang in a rock band. Like my friends and I started a band. I sort of played trombone in it, and then I went to school for it. I went to undergrad for trombone, and
Mhm.
initially I was like I think it was a music therapy major, which was like whatever. It didn't even make sense.
Yeah.
And then I was a music ed major briefly. And then I just met one of the best instructors I've ever worked with. His name's Jim McFalls. And he was like, dude, you know, are you doing this, or are you kind of having a fallback plan? Like, I think he saw that I was really excited about performing and doing these concerts. I was terrible,
Yeah.
but he was like, he saw something and kicked my ass like 1,000%.
How
to
old were you
just-
when he started doing that?
undergrad? I think I was still 17
Yeah,
in
yeah.
undergrad, and then turned 18 freshman year, and then I was like super focused. Then I became like a jazz snob. Like I'd only listen to jazz for like 6 years,
Yeah.
undergrad and then grad school in jazz. And
I'm sure that helped a lot though in terms of shaping you as a player and just that inspiration. Jazz is some of the hardest music to play, so it got your child. Were you just listening to, or were you playing jazz?
playing
too?
like
Yeah.
playing in different groups and Latin jazz, big band jazz, like
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
avant-garde, super out experimental music. And I was like, I just want to write songs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was in New York for forever, but like cost of living was so insane, so I found it really difficult to write. And I moved upstate, and then recently moved to LA, and finding it a lot.
When was
easier.
the first moment that you were like, whoa, like I can do this as a career?
I'm still figuring it out, but like,
Well, I
it's-
mean, you're doing it though.
Yeah.
That's what's-
Yeah.
93 shows.
it's crazy,
Yeah.
you know. It is crazy, you know. But as being an artist, like you have to do a bunch of different things, like. And it took me a while to realize that. For a while, it was like I was a real estate agent in New York, also to fund my life and put all my money into making a single with live musicians in New York was insane.
Yeah, I bet.
So it took a while. I think it took me at least 10 years for me to feel like I'm doing it. And then I'm at the point now where I'm just doing music.
That's amazing. What was the first like big gig that you had?
For me, honestly, like anytime somebody called me to play the trombone, I remember the first gig I did was like a Craigslist like listing needing a trombone player for someone's like, honestly, it was a cool project. It was kind of like an Andrew Bird, Sufjan Stevens type of like composer.
Yeah.
And he paid like $20 and I was like, yeah, fucking made it. Yes. And I was hyped. And then like the gig started to pay $50 and I was like, yeah. And then $75 and I was like, oh. And then I was like, okay, you need to charge more. This is crazy. And then I don't know, it was just all exciting. And then people were like, oh, can you sing background? And I was like, I guess so. And then like learning how to use my voice. I mean, that took a whole other like 10 years while juggling everything else.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, you were doing so many things, like playing, just being a player in other people's groups, but then, being an artist and then being a producer. Do you find that hard sometimes to juggle all of those? Like you're on the road right now, but you're able to come here, make a dope song.
It's definitely a challenge, especially when you're traveling, like to do everything. So I feel it's really important to just trust in yourself and know that like right now you're in performance mode. And then when the tour is over, you go back into writing mode and just like being grounded and just taking care of your mind, body, and spirit at all times.
Yeah.
So that when you're in the studio for months or just even taking time away from it, like,
Is it hard to do that on the road? I mean, you guys
I think it's really hard to write on the road. Like,
Yeah.
the fact that we're doing this is super special.
That's cool.
For me,
Yeah.
we're at the end of the tour. I would never do this with anyone else. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Like the tour is over in 2
love
days.
you, bro. Yeah.
Like, we're tired,
Yeah.
But you're like, hey, man, we could do this. We talked about doing this a year ago.
Yes, sir. Yep.
So,
Yeah, so traveling on the road like that, I mean, you were just talking about like taking care of your mind, body, and spirit. I imagine that's like super hard. Like, what's the like one thing you do to like make sure you're always taking care of yourself?
I play a lot of pickleball.
Really?
Play a lot of pickleball. I love
pickleball.
obsessed with pickleball.
It's so fun.
How do you do that though? Do you like find?
You guys bring your own? Your own
I bring my
medicine?
own paddle, so
Yeah.
it's always with me. And then there's a bunch of apps like places to play, and like another one is like pickle play, which is good.
Really?
And then Google Maps saying like where the courts are, and then I just wing it. I just go to the courts and I meet random people and play. And honestly, as a musician, being as someone who's been signed and dealing with like business stuff, we were talking about this earlier before we started making music. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure you get so sick of only talking about music with people, and like if you have a partner who's in music or something, like I can't imagine like that's all you talk about is just like
Yeah.
music.
I
So important.
I did that when I started Stealing Oceans. It was me and my girlfriend at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and it was hard to separate, business and relationship, and because it's always, especially when you're coming up and you're wanting to make a living out of it. And we were kind of in that beginning stage in Nashville, and it was like it was super hard to like we had to really be deliberate about like, hey, this is date night. Like we're going out to just spend time with each other and our brains and our imaginations, and not talk about our next tour, our next move with stuff. It's difficult. I could never. That's why I'm with a future doctor now, because I could got
Sugar
that
mama.
401k plan.
Sugar-
baby.
sugar mama.
Thank you, Lindsay. I love you. Shout out, Linz. No, that's super hard. It's super hard. And I can't imagine, especially because you guys are, Europe, all around Europe, and then back here in the States, traveling and just being on the road, all these different places. You probably don't feel settled that often because it's hotel room to hotel room, living out of a suitcase, and it must be. I'm curious. Like outside of pickleball, do you do meditations, like breath work? Is there like what else do you like utilize to stay grounded?
Yeah. when I'm on top of it, I'm like in therapy. Ideally, I feel like the sweet spot for me is like every 2 weeks doing like a therapy session. I'd use BetterHelp, which is super easy for teletherapy.
Oh, that's dope.
I do
Yeah.
teletherapy. I've been off of it for like the last couple weeks actually, and I think it'll be good to like have a session at the end of the tour.
Yeah.
Maybe this week. And honestly, just like getting into my body, getting into my body, like super habitualized, like activities, kind of like brushing your teeth, but treating it like, okay, the second we get into the hotel, I go straight to the gym. Like, doesn't matter what time it is. If it's late, it's like, whatever, go to the gym, either stretch or just do a workout. And then like, I really follow the mantra of like mind, body, spirit. Or if I feel like off more one day, like take care of the body first, and then the spirit, and then the mind. So sometimes meditation, long walks,
Yeah.
you know, as much sunshine and just being outside as possible.
Yeah. Are you pretty close with the guys in the band? Or all the
Yeah.
Because you have a pretty big crew, right?
Yeah, there's like 40 of us on this one.
Dang.
Wow.
But the band is like 9, and then our crew people. So it's been like 4 tour buses, 2 trucks,
Wow.
Dang.
yeah, with all of our staging and lights.
That's why I'm surprised you guys don't set up. I'm surprised there's not multiple pickleball players that you guys aren't just setting up a net wherever,
Man, I
wherever
try-
you go and doing it.
I try to, but they're afraid.
They don't want the smoke.
I wish I knew, man. I would have challenged you today.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would have got it worked.
I don't
Look,
know.
man.
We'll see.
Look. You know, you never know.
Saying
Never know.
anytime, anywhere, if you want the heat, son.
Dun, dun,
Drop
dun.
it.
Stay out the kitchen.
Wait, so
No.
there's 9 people in the band, and then aren't there dancers too? Or are you
Mhm.
including them in?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're included in the band.
Mhm.
Yeah. How many dancers are there?
2.
2 dancers, and then you have drums, DJ, XP
Mm-hmm.
backs Macklemore up. He sings and does like backup flows.
Mm-hmm.
Who else am I missing? You have trumpet.
Kamara sings, and Kyla Moskovich plays trumpet,
Yeah.
and then I play the horn, and we're all just running around.
Yeah, the show is crazy, man. That must be so much fun. I've seen videos of you guys just run around the stage. I mean, like the live show is insane. Ben's like produced this beautiful, aesthetically
Yeah.
pleasing, and the energy is wild. It must be so much fun to be a part of that.
I really respect that dude. And each year we have like grown closer as a family, like the whole unit. And like he doesn't have to be out here doing shows. Dude's like triple platinum,
Yeah.
like diamond twice or something. He's gone
It's
diamond.
incredible. Yeah.
I think the only other person that he has done it as much as him is Mariah Carey, I think.
Wow.
Damn.
You know what I mean? Like
wow.
to do that, like he doesn't have to do that. He doesn't have to play shows, but he loves performing, and he gives 1,000% to every show.
Yeah.
And it's really inspiring for me, where I can, I try to give it all every night. There's some nights I'm just like not mentally sharp, but I see him out there like going for it, and it inspires me to work on my music and my albums and my performance energy on stage, and just owning it, and just like connecting with the audience and being present and being engaging and getting people through times. Like, we have people who are like come to shows with signs that are like, I'm 5 years sober today,
Oh, it's incredible.
or like I hit 15 years today, or I'm like a month today. And like, as someone who's recently, I've hit like 2 years, which is crazy, of just like,
It's amazing,
hey,
bro.
like you know.
Yeah.
And my story is like, it was never something that I was like, I have a problem per se, but it's like, the more I look back on it, I'm like, yeah, I had a problem. I was consuming a substance that was fucking making me depressed, and I was doing it willingly.
What was that substance?
I was smoking joints.
Yeah,
Like
so
I would take a hit every night,
Yeah.
a couple hits every night, enjoy a glass of bourbon or have some IPAs, and just like slowly numbing myself.
Yeah.
Which for some people it's like totally cool, but for me, I'm just like one of those highly sensitive people, and I think it just runs in my family. And like, I think I knew it in high school too. In high school, I was like, I'm not gonna drink, and then I was like,
Yeah.
well, I need to experience the world. I don't want to be like some saint or something.
Yeah.
And just realized it just would make me sad. Like I would drink and be sad for like a day or two. So I don't know, just to be reminded that you can offer different views for people to, different ways for people to. How do you feel? Like we talked about it a little bit. Like,
Yeah. Well, before I go there, I'm
Yeah.
curious, like being on the road compared to being home,
Mm.
is it harder to stay sober on the road or?
for me, I'm just in a nice flow. Like it's funny. I think the last thing I did was mushrooms, and it was, I think, highly medicinal. I was in upstate New York. I kind of microdosed, and I remember looking up at the sky, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm good on toxins." And then I got out of a crazy toxic relationship. I stopped smoking weed. I stopped drinking, and then like got doubled down on therapy and just like sat with myself for the first time in a really long time. And I was like, "All right, you're running. What is this?"
Yeah.
And just like, yeah. Um,
Did you see a big difference in your creative before becoming sober and after, or not really?
yeah, I think so. Yeah. Um, just the clarity of thought, and the ability to talk about what the emotions are, to like actually just like
Right.
identify what they were instead of just feeling them, like
Mhm.
being high or being like, I never got drunk in the studio or drank in the studio, but like I feel like when you're high, you just kind of get stuck in your head, for me. So that being able to process, I'm sorry, I'm burping up these lobster rolls.
It's part of
Second
it.
helping,
So good.
delicious.
But yeah, it's just like clarity is crazy.
But it's
And
funny
also-
though,
yeah.
like I feel like for so long on the come up, like you think getting high makes you more creative. Like that's how I always thought. I was like, I got to be high to write because it puts me in a different place in my brain and where my thoughts and creativity go. And then come to realize like I can find that space without being on any substance. And it's just it's a little harder to get there. It takes more work. It's a delayed gratification. But I find that I write my best stuff completely sober at like 1 a.m. where like my brain's a little more, the noise is quiet down from the outside, but then I'm also a little tired, so it's not as chaotic up here. But I'm sober, fully connected with myself. I can feel my emotions. And that's when the best stuff just kind of pours out of me. Just let that sink in.
Yeah, that hit. That
Yeah.
really hit.
It does, man. It's crazy. But yeah, you asked me about like, so I've gone back and forth over the years, drinking, partying. And I just recently again decided not to drink anymore and then nothing happened. There was nothing, back when I was like 24, 25, I was telling you today, I went on my first bus tour and I had a girlfriend of 3 years, the one I started Stealing Oceans with. And first bus tour, drugs, alcohol, just got lost in it. Ended up cheating on my girl, which for me, I was heartbroken in high school. It was like one of my biggest, moral things for me that I would never make someone feel the way I felt in high school. And then I did that. And so I got sober. I stopped drinking everything for 4 years, just cut it all out and just got back to my, back to my roots, back to my core. But yeah, I just recently, I was like, man, this is just not serving me anymore, man. It's, I think it's in the way of, what I want to accomplish. It clouds my mind when I'm trying to, whether it's being creative or, whether it's some business moves, working on this podcast, whatever kind of ventures, it gets in the way of that, but also my relationship too with my girl. Like it definitely gets in the way of that. And it doesn't serve me, there's no purpose for it in my life. I thought I needed it before to like perform. It's like, oh, I need like a couple whiskeys before I get on stage, but I just played a show up in Maine and I was totally fine. My vocals were better because I wasn't,
Yeah, 1,000%.
yeah, I wasn't under it at all,
Yeah.
So it's, so I'm starting this new kind of journey with it again because it just doesn't feel like it needs to be a part of my life right now. And God, man, it's felt so good. Even just like today working with you in the studio, like I just feel so clear and connected and things are just flowing out. And it's not like, oh, I need another sip or I need another beer to get myself in that creative spot. It's like, no, I'm capable of being in this moment and it keeps me in that moment. Because when you're drinking in the studio too, it dies. You know, you only have a couple hours of actual productivity, and then it dies out, and you get sloppy, and it's rough. And being high too, it's like the high comes down after a few hours, and it's like. But now I can go for 8 hours, and it's like we're Gucci.
Yeah,
it's nice.
I mean, it just makes me think of Rick Rubin and how he talks about like we are here, like when we're in the studio, it's like such a sacred space and state to be in. And so we have to be like super clear to receive signals. And like whether you put that in like a religious view, but like I feel like when you're listening to the idea and getting out of the way of it, because sometimes it might be stupid, like a stupid idea that seems stupid to you, but just to like humble yourself and be like, whatever, like I will receive the signal and just, so whatever it takes to be like that clear, to like kind of be like a radio antenna and just like receive these melodies. Because that's how like you asked earlier, like how I feel like I'm creating. I feel like I create in spurts, or if I'm in a really healthy relationship with writing, showing up to the thing and just sitting in front of it. And sometimes it'll just be quiet, like I'm getting nothing. And I'm just like, all right. And I go for a walk and I come back and just forget about it. And then like something will happen. I'm like, oh shit. And yeah.
And through time though, you learn that's okay.
Yeah.
Like when it's not there. We were talking about earlier too, like when I was in Nashville, it was like you're scheduled these like 4-hour writing blocks and working with all these different people. And it works for some writers to do that, and they write great music. Personally, I can't, like today, like we sat down and it was awesome. It just like naturally came out, the inspiration. You started singing this melody, some kind of freestyle words were coming out. I started to piece it together, and then we told like this whole story of the song and kind of the direction it was going. It just felt so natural and real. But sometimes you get in and it's like, you start something and you're just like, I'm not feeling it, or there's just no more inspiration. And I think it takes time to learn. I think for like kids who are listening to this, it's okay if you have those times, but it's just letting that happen and letting the process happen, and knowing that if instead of trying to force it, you just let it be, and then naturally something will come eventually. It might take some time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why listening to you saying that, I'm like, we need to put this song up for Christmas. I don't know why I said that. It feels like a Christmas song.
I'm down. It definitely feels like a
holiday song. The world needs some love. It
Yeah.
always does.
True.
Sure.
Very true, man. So dude, so you got you're playing in Phoenix here tomorrow night,
Yeah.
Arizona Financial Theater, and then you only have a couple more shows left on the tour.
This, and then Hollywood Wednesday. It's my birthday.
Oh,
Hey.
happy early
Throw
birthday.
down.
Happy birthday,
Thank
bro.
you.
Where in Hollywood you guys playing?
The Palladium.
Oh, nice.
Classic.
Yeah.
Dope venue.
You guys have played there before, right?
I don't know if I've ever played there.
I think I saw Macklemore there in like 2015 or something.
Okay.
Yeah. It was it couldn't have been the heist. No, it wasn't the heist.
Could have been the heist. Oh, the heist was
No, it was after the heist. It was this unruly,
mess
I've made. That's what it
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was killer.
The dude works so hard.
Yeah. Yeah, it's incredible. How many albums has he put out?
I don't even know.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
wild,
he's been
man.
grinding for a while.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's crazy to have that longevity. It doesn't
Yeah, that's for sure.
it doesn't happen often. Most artists kind of peak and then there's a slow decline, but he's one of those legacy artists, which is so dope. Have you ever made music with him?
Yeah, we've done a few studio sessions. I put horns on his song Next Year that came out with featuring Windsor.
Yeah.
So that was myself and Kyla played trumpet on that. And I got to do that for my studio, which was cool. And then we did
That's dope.
a session in Europe one time for this quick, like, it was like an ABC songwriting show. The quick turnaround. We've done some like show, like for this show and this tour in particular, we wrote some interludes between songs. We all kind of contributed to it, and pretty fun to do that. I love assembling things like interludes and stuff. For
Yeah.
the bigger show, and it's super fun.
How long did you, for this current tour, how long before the tour started did you guys rehearse for it?
We really had like 2 days of rehearsal, and then we went out.
Whew.
Dang.
You felt prepared though, going into the first show?
No, No, not at all. But this crew has such an energy where like we'll run something and then it's just locked. Like we'll just keep it's in there.
That's awesome. Yeah.
It's really like a sports event. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's like a workout being out there, huh? You run around the stage like crazy. Is a lot of that kind of in the moment, like we
really try to keep it in the moment. We were touring with Tones and I last in the spring, and one thing
what a voice on her.
Yeah,
oh, man.
unbelievable voice.
She cool to hang with too.
So great.
Yeah,
like I don't tell many people this, but I'll tell everyone this now. Like she's actually such a beautiful human being, like so considerate, so humble, like literally was like living out of her car before that Dance Monkey Dance song blew up.
Yeah.
Like was like did the thing, did the hustle, like
from Australia.
Yeah, Australia.
Yeah.
And then like proceeded to make great music that I'm like, and then worked with Macklemore and like
so dope.
She's so sweet, such a sweet human being. And like one day I saw these like. She's like a gift giver. She's like a notorious gift giver.
Really?
Where her band is like, dude, we can't even hang out with her because she's like a gift giver. It's too much. Like she hooked her band up with like Gucci, like they outfitted.
No way.
Like and she was like, oh, it's okay. She's just like that type of person.
That's
She's
amazing. Yeah. So, dude, for people, obviously, I kind of have an idea of it, but for people who aren't in the music industry that might come across this, what's like tomorrow? What's your day like tomorrow leading up, from waking up to showtime?
Mind, soul, body, mind, body, spirit. First thing in the morning. So like physical activity, super healthy smoothie or juice or acai bowl or whatever it is, like gym, fitness. And then check out of the hotel. Then we'll just kind of be at the venue.
Yeah.
So yeah, people think touring is like this. I think people know touring is a grind, but like it's mostly hurry up and wait. Like check out of the hotel, go to the venue. You're there at the venue for 8 hours, then you play the show, and then it's like back on the bus. You leave at like 1 or 2 a.m. and then you drive overnight. You're in your bunk, and then you're at the next venue, and it's we play a lot of spades. We play a lot of spades.
Is the band? So you guys hang out a lot?
We do, and it's super chill and really easy because you're moving so much.
Yeah,
sometimes we'll go out, sometimes we'll go hit the club or dance or something.
Yeah.
Every blue moon, but
does Ben hang out with you guys often?
Yeah. We were on the same bus this run, and
how many people on the bus?
It's 8 to a bus.
Yeah. Is it like you guys bunks and then he has a master bedroom?
We're all bunks.
Oh, everyone's bunks.
Yeah, like he's that kind of dude. Like
that's badass.
Yeah.
We've done tours where he's had the bed.
Yeah.
But he'll also just sleep in the bunk, and like the bed is like,
Wow.
Yeah, I gotta give it to the dude. He's super humble.
So what's the back? Is it a lounge?
Yeah, another lounge.
Yeah. Do you guys set up like a little studio in there or anything? You guys work on the bus?
Like you think you'd get on the tour bus and be like, I'm gonna make music all the fucking time. And you're like, no, I'm not.
So true.
I'm so tired. I'm gonna eat this burrito. It's got cheese on it, even though I'm lactose intolerant.
Oh, God.
I'm gonna suffer.
Worth it.
I'm hungry.
So then what does it look like what are you planning on? How do you come down from a tour? Like what do you do at, for whatever the week after, or is there certain things that you like are looking forward to?
Well, I have an album that I've finished, and I'm gonna put a lot more energy into getting it out and play some DJ sets. I really love doing DJ sets every now and then, just playing whatever I want. Super fun.
You should go back to back with Chase, dude.
Yeah.
You were going back to back last night, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, it's a good time.
I'll come back out for that.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So,
After your dinner tonight, you should come by the Beverly and spin.
Are you playing tonight?
No, I'm not.
We could set it up though. Is it open tonight?
I don't know if we have a DJ tonight.
Yeah.
Monday night. No, there's not. But
Yeah, dude. If you got some energy after dinner,
Wow.
we should run it. That'd be fun.
Wow. Just honestly play pickleball. Like I have a coach that I'm like,
Wow.
Oh wow, you're
yeah,
that
seriously.
Yeah,
I want to
that's
play
awesome.
tournaments, so I'm focusing on playing some tournaments this year,
That's awesome.
Ooh.
and just like getting just like I know I'm gonna get destroyed. People work really hard, and so I'm gonna get humbled and just try and come back stronger, and I'll do my best.
So
but-
pickleball's number one right now. Essentially, that's what keeps you going.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. Like, also just want to represent like Black people, like be at these tournaments, playing high level and like representing my people, because you don't see that in like golf or tennis, or it's changing though.
It is. There's
Yeah.
a couple
You know.
tennis players too, a couple young ones that are really good.
Yeah,
For sure.
just trying to.
What about that album? The album you sent me today. Are you releasing that soon?
Yes, I'm releasing it. I'm trying to figure out how to do it best.
It's so good. Can I send it to Big Al?
Yeah,
Can you listen? Yeah.
easy.
It's amazing, man. I was telling you today, like the dynamics, the diversity of music in that one, but it all still kind of blends nicely and works together. But you're singing, you're rapping, there's these crazy like cinematic breaks in it. It flows really well. And it's something like, I mean, out of all the music you've put out before, I feel like it's somewhat of a departure from that. Would you
Yeah.
agree? Yeah.
Yeah, the whole concept, like all the stuff I've done before has been super layered and like, intricate and like 50 trombone tracks and like all the harmonic spectrum.
Yo, but the horns was it Volcano? Is that the song? Dude, the horns on that that when it really starts bumping, oh my gosh, man. I was bumping that in the car on the way to the studio.
Amazing.
Yeah, it got me hyped, man.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I've just been sitting with this album for a year and no one's heard it yet. So I'm excited I have a show in Baltimore coming up this week. So I get to play it for people and kind of just test it out and see how people receive
So
it.
you're finishing the tour and then you're going to play another show.
Yeah.
So there's your answer.
Yeah.
Pickleball's gotta wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, wait, so when's the last show? Where is it?
Hollywood tomorrow,
Oh.
Wednesday.
Palladium.
That's the last show.
show. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
so
yeah.
tomorrow night's the second to last show. Okay, I thought you had through the week. Okay. So Wednesday, Palladium, and then when is the show in Baltimore?
Sunday
Oh damn, man. Are you playing solo or is it with a band?
with a band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys are rehearsed? You're gonna
Oh no. Not at all. We're gonna figure it out. We have like a Zoom meeting to like talk over stuff.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
have to like be like, I don't forget to do this. It's gonna be raw. It's gonna be one of those like DIY, like let's hit it and go and see what happens.
It's the best. It's the best. It's I've found that's my favorite way to. You kind of have like the structure of what you're doing, but then you keep everything loose because then you don't create expectations.
Yeah.
When you produce this whole show, then you have expectations, and when those don't happen,
Yeah.
you can really lose the vibe in the moment and get way up here.
This one might be crazy. I don't know how this one will go. It just might be crazy.
That's awesome, man. And so you're living in LA now.
Silver
All right.
Lake.
All right, so you're an hour flight or 5 hours from here. So we gotta hit the studio
keep it
more
going.
often. Yeah.
Just keep it going. I have miles.
And get humbled in pickleball because
Yeah.
he will humble you so
Well, once he
fast.
started talking about
That's
playing
what I was saying,
tournaments and
and a
stuff, I was
coach-
like,
and a
I'm just
coach,
kind of like,
yeah.
The funny thing
I'll
is,
still
like,
take you though.
let's go.
I'll still take you.
There's so much to
I got that
learn.
natural
Like,
talent.
I need to practice.
I don't think I've ever even played pickleball before, but I was dirty on the racquetball court.
Then you're gonna smoke me. You never know, man.
You heard it here, folks.
Nah, my money's on Darius.
Yeah,
my money's
all
on
day.
Darius. Facts.
Let's go. Well, dude, man, this has been an honor, man,
So
to
good.
have you on the show.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Yeah, thanks for
Yeah.
coming out.
Yeah.
Love you, man. Good luck tomorrow night. Good
Thank
luck.
you.
Good luck Wednesday at the
I'll also
Palladium.
holler to see if I can try and get extra tickets.
Oh, dude.
Around.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Because
Yeah.
it's a 5,000 cap, and normally bigger shows, hopefully easier to get more people. I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, we're grateful regardless, man, to
Absolutely.
have
We
you here.
appreciate you coming in
Yeah.
and eating some lobster with us.
Thank you, guys.
That's
Yeah.
the best.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, man. We'll do this again sometime
Let's
since
do
you're so
it.
close.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. Have a good night.
Peace.
Peace.